I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
I'm hoping that it is. You know, keep it simple. Would make some sense here. Give Dudu some comfort.
It's not Zeus on the other side this time.
Oh, instead, blind jacks into the top lane. I mean, that just invites like an R5 Poppy angle.
Yeah, or even an R5 Gnar feels pretty good here for Doran. GP was one of the ones that King would lock here.
Oh, the Malphite, that's fun.
Trundle. That's great with Jhin. Unironically, I feel like it's pretty good. I don't think that's, yeah, I don't think that's what he's necessarily going to lock here, but I like to see Doran flex a little bit.
Yeah, instead Doran is just going to take a leaf out of our book and lock in the Gnar. Depends on who you talk to about how the Jax-Gnar matchup goes, but should be relatively even up there towards the top side and does give you a lot of teamfight power if you can get that Mega Gnar timing to work out. We know Doran's best thing is teamfighting. Yeah. And so him on the Gnar, he often is pretty good at making sure that Gnar bar is in the right spot. It's
hard to punish this Gnar pick with Viego. You know, there are other junglers that can be very threatening and punish a mini Gnar. Viego doesn't always quite reach with the hop available, so I feel like you feel pretty safe in the top
match point in this best of 3. Let's see whether DN Freaks can pull themselves together here in game number 2. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for the second game of the series. I'm expecting the DN Freak's going to look kind of okay for the first 10 minutes. That's my really aggressive take.
Yeah, a little out there.
I know. I'm known to really go out on a limb.
I mean, look, for the true DNF doomers out there, because there are a lot of them, because they're 0 and 8.
Oh no, not the Troomers.
They're not seeing, because they're too blind by their anger at the 08. They can't actually see the stable laning phase. But you and I see it, okay? Like, you and I know, like, you and I both knew as well when they had some pretty big leads in that game. We're like, well, let's see how this ends, because I'm not confident.
Seeing what he can get done on this top side. Ona's Pantheon has been another one of his good champions. Like, the Xin and the Pantheon have been just so amazing.
He likes it when the enemies can't hurt him when he presses a button.
Yeah, he does seem to utilize those buttons relatively well.
You should play Gwen
Throw it in here. It's a fair bit of damage onto Gumayusi, as we can see. Captive Audience going to connect there as Doran going aggressive. Does have level 6, but the Wallop not going to land, and he just used the ulti on the Jax a few moments prior as Pyongyang, I think, loses out on that trade. The Chaos Storm going to get redirected towards the minions. Pyoshik starting off these grubs, might be able to get that first one pretty comfortably. Let's see whether they can get more.
Yeah, he wants to get it without smiting, of course. The top trade going so well for Berserker, actually hitting all that damage on Naguma really allows for this to happen here for Pyoshik, so he's feeling very good about this. In fact, should be able to secure 2 at least.
Yeah, nicely done.
For the second, and see, Owner is already heading down, so Pyoshik knows he can commit to this third grub here, and I don't think there's going to be any punish whatsoever on the top side. As Pyongyang remembered that his ultimate was not a combat ultimate and did end up losing out to Faker, but got his ult in exchange.
Yep. Dudu probably should know that there's a likely jungler towards his bottom side, as he's going to have to leap strike his way over, and all right, that'll do it. He's just fine.
Nice timing on that.
Yep, I guess he just knew that he wasn't in any danger as the Ignite already down onto Gumayusi. He's going to flash. This dive is dangerous, but still able to pick it up. Life just deciding that he's going to have to sacrifice himself as Carrier gets another kill. And Berserker not going to be able to challenge him for that one. So that, I would say, ladies and gentlemen, is a disaster.
Yeah, on one hand,
that he is having a lot of success on. And you also just generally get outranged as the Rise.
Yeah.
And in this matchup anyway, so it's just a bit of a rough one.
Not respecting, but Pyoshik is going to come over here.
Yeah, there's the flash in, as I don't know about the angle on the stun. The gravity field's fantastic there as well. And Faker going to have to flash because there is a shattering strike coming on over, and Pyoshik gets his second of the game.
All right, maybe it was good that Viego got the kill, you know?
Yeah, he's pretty scary now.
He may miss the flash stun, but still going to get a kill onto Faker there in the end, in part due to Life being in.
Shot was even in the air, but they didn't have to use any of them, right? So Pyoshik gets to use it in that fight. Obviously, the flash looked a little comical, but it was because Faker walked forward.
Yeah.
And that means he's dead anyway. So DNF setting up for these plays quite nicely. Life, of course, his position fantastic there, but T1's still going to be able to get themselves the first dragon of the game. And next one going to be a Chemtech, so no back-to-back Chemtech souls, which we like to see, as Doran's spacing there pretty nice into the Counter-Strike.
see a small lead here for Berserker. Pyosik looking for more grubs here. They have full control over this pit. Faker doesn't have his flash. I don't think he's going to come down. They're going to look for a bottom play here instead on a Dudu.
Yeah. The Gnar stun into the turret, and Dudu does manage to at least get the counter-strike back as he throws down the ulti. Doran will need to pick up turret aggro, but I think that was a level up for Dudu. Look at him, eating through these cookies, feeling a whole lot better, but still, he's going to get taken down. Nice little huff to get Doran out of there, and it was a good attempt. Yeah,
it was nicely played there from Dudu. Really nice flash timing. Bought a lot of time, but now they need to make something happen here top side. They do end up with 6 grubs here, but I think they want a little bit more. Turret plate gold will feel nice, but I just don't think they can actually get anything done with carry up here top side.
This is going to be feats of strength if Doran is able to take down this turret.
And so far, you know, there's no answer. Dude, also a pretty fast pushing Rise as well. Will feel really happy if he's left alone in the side lane. Just ask BDD.
Deadly Flourish coming on down here as Gumayushi with a lot of damage onto Berserker. And now the curtains have been called. Let's see how the do-si-do goes here for Berserker as Solar Flare goes wide. That's a lot of ultis going in directions that they didn't really want to go. But still, that is a lot of pressure onto the DN Freaks 80 carry. Doran still realizing that things are a little bit difficult here in the 1v1 as there's the Magnet Storm. He tries to get himself out. Heartbreaker comes forward. There is the Grand Skyfall and Dudu goes down once again. Doran is still alive and Pyoshik's on the wrong side of the map. A disastrous dive attempt here as Gumayushi down towards the bottom side and the wallop will take down the Rel. And things are going wrong a little earlier this time around for the DN Freaks.
Yeah, this time, similarly to the top dive, they looked for the turret is their worst enemy, and Doran just is totally fine up there. And unlike the last time, they don't end up finding any success with their play, as Punyan is now also 100% dead.
Yeah, the Realm Warp, an immediate Chaos Storm interruption, as Punyan realizes that he may as well try and clear the wave. And he does do that. He is surviving for quite some time, but that's another gravity field actually in the same little skirmish. You can see the teleport coming in from Doran, and he just wants to finish this one off, but there is no wave, so he takes a turret shot for fun. And Carrier, he's going to turn up. Solar Flare doesn't connect. The Rel is in the area, but Dudu is still going down incredibly low. Good Shattering Strike there just to get him out. But now Punyan having to deal with some attention on the top side as the stun comes through, and Pyoshik not going to be here in time. Just elects to get himself stunned as they take down the Rise yet again.
And that's feats of strength with the turret going down bottom side here.
Now has a gigantic lead.
It's such a frustrating game to play out here, as it looks like DNF will at least get this Dragon back, trade it for a 1-for-1. We'll see what the Soul is, as it's not going to be Chemtech 2 games in a row, so at least that's a thumbs up for me, but...
Yep, it's going to be a Mountain Soul.
Okay.
But Faker is going to be taking down this outer turret. I mean, this is 6 grubs for DNF, and they're losing structures all over the map.
If you can't hit the turrets, they don't really end up getting much value, do they?
Yeah, this is the
Now they have Cryo on this Rift Herald. We'll see a teleport here from Punyan, and this may be the last stand here, the last fight for DNF.
Yep, Life is just going to move in, already down to half health. It's a teleport from the Jax to deliver him to the middle of this fight. It's going to be an honest 5v5 as Faker makes his way down. Boomerang value actually quite high there as the Black Magnet Storm comes in from Life. They're going to see whether they can get the first kill in this fight. It's so important. The transformation is fantastic, but the first kill, it was T1's, and they line it up with a couple more as well. Now the curtains are being called. The Grand Starfall comes down, and Berserker, I don't think he's winning this battle against Owner, as Owner may actually get taken out here as Punyan's over the wall, but instead he just flashes his way out of there. And T1, they only sacrifice Doran and they take everything.
Yeah, Doran also played the fight out incredibly well. You mentioned the transformation and tanked so much in the early part of the fight. No resets for Pyoshik, no angle to pop off on this Viego. And that's a Herald getting a charge here in mid, and they're looking for even more.
Yeah, Life. Underneath this turret, they do manage to get the secondary charge from Shelly before she does go down, as Punyan desperately trying to deal with the wave. He does manage to do that as Faker takes a couple of turret shots, but this Gravity Field plus Deadly Flourish combination that T1 are using just looks very difficult to deal with, is what T1 want to look towards. Vision is there for the DN Freaks.
Yeah, Dudu does have teleport. Punyan has Realm Warp. And I said that last Hail Mary was going to be their last chance, but maybe there is a potential angle here. Life, no flash, though, to engage. This is going to be so tricky, and they're very split.
They really are. They just need to find something, some form of fight, even if they don't manage to deny this. As the Shattering Strike comes down, Doran's their target, but they throw Pyoshik just towards the rest of the team. And Ona just left there to deal with this Arakan. Very happily does so because he's under no threat. As was that a potential Realm Warp angle? It was not.
I don't think so. And there's no angle to get flowers either. And so petals galore here.
Is that going to be a 3-level advantage for Faker in mid?
No, not quite.
Might be very close to. Oh goodness me, that is not a lot of fun. Not one turret has been taken here by the DN Freaks.
Yeah, and it's just that type of fight, you know, where once life is seen and they know he doesn't have flash because they're tracking his timer. He has it now, but he didn't then. They're just like, okay, well, Doran, you just deal with that. We just hold the choke point and Owner solos the objective, and there's no angle for DNF. There's just absolutely no way in. And then they take the Otacon and walk away. It was just, you know, it was not that interesting in terms of the actual fight breaking out and kills going over, but in terms of technical league play, it was about as technical as it gets by T1.
And nothing that Pyosik could do, no angle to be found there, and in fact, he's able to stop these backs with that Crush Gnar combo. Now the Starfall comes in.
Isolated.
Not going to be able to save this Rise, who had his flash removed earlier on. So that is just a very, very dead bald blue guy.
You see the, you know, preemptive angles there. You know, Doran stops the backs, so it looks like, oh, a bit of a whiff there from Doran. No, not true. He stops the backs, and then they have the Starfall follow-up. They isolate the Rise and take him out. As Duda will pick up some bounty gold here in the first turret of the game for them, but it's in trade for an inner. And T1, I don't think, are feeling too bad about it. With 6 grubs, though, Duda, if he gets enough time. And, okay.
Owner has found life, but there is, Life's kind of into that. As Berserker just going to throw a bunch of autos into, okay, does he just win this? Oh god, Owner is so scary. There is 990 gold going over to Pyosik once again as the Deadly Flourish comes down. Carrier could be dead. The resets are starting to come in. But perhaps the curtains have now been called. Dudu going to soak one of them. Pyosik soaks another as he heartbreaks his way out. So that's all they're going to get.
Doran, 2 levels up.
Yeah. Pungyan gonna have to at least put him in some runic prison. He does manage to do that.
Area does have ult, so he might get interested.
Yeah. Flash is back up here for Pungyan as Doran taking a lot of damage. Zenith Blade doesn't quite connect there as Carrier's the one tanking, but Pungyan's still dead. Oh dear, the wallets be heavy.
They certainly do, and with a very easy to set up follow-up there with the Leona tanking the turret. It's just as simple as that. And now Doran does have TP if he had to join this Baron fight. I don't think he's that interested, though. I think he just wants to push this bottom wave in and start to then threaten there. As Life and Pyosik do show up, but it might be too late. Faker pulls off 4K on the Baron, and I just don't think there's any in here.
Nope, and Pyosik just backs away. They see the Chaos Storm, as we also see that we are indeed floating above Runeterra. Yeah, there was no real way. The Chaos Storm came down, and Pyosik's like, I can't see in the storm. So
basically just makes him immortal in team fights because he is also level 17.
Oh my goodness.
And Dude's just, he's not really having fun.
No. Life going to come on over and try and defend here as Pyosik as well, looking to try and put out fires where he can. It's a 4,000 gold lead in that top lane. As T1 look to siege this one out with their new Baron that they've put together. The Shattering Strike comes down once again. It's a very aggressive dive from Ona, who may actually get taken out here as Pyosik comes in. They do manage to get the kill on the Pantheon. The resets are starting to come in as Gumayusi could be in trouble. Pyosik is kind of scary, but it's Faker going absolute god mode here in the backline. Life going to be taken out. The death ray, my god, combined with the curtain call. T1 just say, yes, you do have a Viego, but unfortunately it's not enough.
He's dead now.
Through a team fight.
Yep, and T1 with this wave coming through should be able to slowly end this game. Berserker looking for the outplay.
Oh, does not get it. That's going to be another 300 over to Doran. Pungyan does manage to get that, but it is a very swift execution here by Gumayusi. And T1, 2-0 over the DN Freaks, and unfortunately, 3 games. The entire round robin, and unfortunately none of them were in the same series. So the 0-0